Hey everyone, this is Andre. In this video, I want to show you the key points that I learned to grow my business into a multi-unit franchise operations, and what I learned from Trump's books, as well as his latest interview with Joe Rogan. I'll exemplify key points that he used in his communication skills and the deal making, how he earned respect from people that he would be doing business with, and using the example of the Trump Tower, how he brought up that deal early on in the game, even the New York ice skating rink that he took over, building that rink from the government, and he did it cheaper, faster, and also earning respect from everyone. I'll exemplify his powerful communication techniques that Donald Trump uses and that you can too use for your business. So stay on, let's go with the first point. The first example consists around loyalty and how that helps, and that's detrimental for you to convey to be a trustworthy person in any business deal. And an example that I would use here for Trump is one of his encounters with bankers in the 1990s. When everyone was going bankrupt, there was a big real estate meltdown. And during these good times, business owners, they would go to the bank's office and knock them down, speak with the head, bankers in a negative way, demanding money. And banks there's no way out. They would just give money to them. So they would mistreat even bankers, these business owners. But when it turned around, it turned the page when there was this recession coming in 1990s. It was the bank's turn. The bank would go to every business owner and collect money from them for the money they owe. And who would these bankers target first? These same people that would disrespect them during good times. But Trump kept it steady. He kept being loyal even during good times. That's a good thing. According to his story on the Trump The Art of the Deal, he would go to these banks early on, and he would make fair deals that actually would benefit the both of them. Of course, they're always looking for their best, each individually. I'm not taking that away. Of course, it's a Shark Tank, like they would say. Go after your own, but also we want to be reasonable and loyal. So these two words are very important for business. You go to the banks and see, okay, what makes sense for us to do this deal. Because I'm in good times, I'm not gonna eat you alive. I'm not going to destroy you here because you have no other choice. So you might as well give me the money. So I'll ask for anything. Trump wouldn't do that. He would be fair, and that comes with loyalty as well. Another example here on loyalty that's quite important that almost bit him back is the word. Word is bond. And what word is bond means is when you give your word or your handshake or your agreement, even if it's not in writing, not a contract in a business deal, you abide by it. The worst way for you to destroy your reputation is by saying you're going to do something and backing away, saying yes and then backing out. And this example applies even during one of Donald Trump's deals back then, is when Trump gave verbal approval for a deal through his secretary. And only later he realized that the terms weren't favorable, even to what he agreed upon. Stuff started happening to where he realized, okay, this is a bad deal. I'm gonna lose money with this. And it's not, it's not $500, it's not $1,000, it's not $20,000. It was in a matter of millions of dollars. However, since you already have given him his word, he honored the deal. He continued with the deal. He didn't back away, even though he realized he made a huge mistake, but he hadn't sent the money in yet. But he did give his handshake. So he closed on that by word. And then he had to proceed and give the money. It wasn't through contract, but it was through his word. And so that's a very important thing for business owners. A lot of business owners, even startups, they think that you can go out and agree upon terms. You just want to make decisions super quick and fast. And that can destroy you, because if you make those decisions quick and fast without thinking about the consequences or without having the patience of, okay, let me analyze the deal, then you might find yourself in a bad place where you have to go back in your word. And if you are this type of person who is too quick and too fast, makes a decision quick and without thinking much about it, you may also be the other type of person who backs down your word. And that's the worst thing you can do as a business owner, because people are not going to start trusting you, whatever business you may be. I'm in a franchise business. And if you have distributors as well, clients, or people who, even your employees, your team members, your partners, if you give your word and you back down on your word, you're gonna lose credibility. People are not gonna take you seriously. So this is the importance of the word is bonding. And throughout business deals as well, I show you guys through my channel my day-to-day operations of my business. Traveling, going out to places, and showing sometimes even live interactions with clients as well. So if you guys like to hear more, see the other videos, subscribe to the channel before we continue here. A great example here that I can use for when you're doing business, for you to be fair as well on your deals, is one of the deals of Trump Tower, when he was building that Trump Tower, where he actually used to live before the presidency and before going to Florida, he had to acquire air rights from Tiffany & Co., which was in the adjacent street on Fifth Avenue, New York. So that was a great example on how he would actually convince the other party to, allow him to build the big Trump Tower, because it's a lot of regulations there. It's a lot of things going on. So the way Trump brought forward this deal to Tiffany & Co. is he presented it as it being beneficial for the actual Tiffany & Co. in the adjacent streets, saying that it would increase foot traffic, people walking traffic around that area if you were to build the Trump Tower there, which indeed that's what we know happened. And that would get attention to the other. And so, by them providing him the air rights to build the Trump Tower a certain height, Tiffany & Co. would actually also benefit from this deal. And that's what ended up happening. Another big example that was also in the Joe Rogan interview here just now, and what people struggle a lot, especially business owners, is following their gut, whether they should do it or not. And that has to do also with credibility, or building your credibility. Many people don't know what to do. Sometimes they are confused on, should I take this deal? Should I not close on this deal? And they start going into these roller coasters of emotions as well before making a decision. Whatever it may be, related to business, whatever it can be, a multitude of things. The way I put it is always follow through on what you believe, follow your gut. And normally what your gut instinct will tell you is sometimes it's a slight higher percentage of whether you should do it or not, or do it one way or the other. You will know, even though it's a slight feeling, it's a slight sensation. It can be a feeling as well. Sometimes it's not written in words, but you will know on what this is, what exactly, if you should say yes or not to that decision. And normally the trick that I use is thinking of my first decision in my mind. If I have a decision to make, what instantly came up to my mind, okay, I'm going to do it. And then the doubt starts to come later on. Later on is when you allow time that you start having doubts, or should I do it or not? But always go back to your first thought. Should you do it or should you not do it? What's my first thought say? Okay, I'm going to take the risk and do it. But always remember of the first point. Take some of your time. Don't make rash decisions right away, instantly. Take your time, think about it, so then you don't have to go back on your word. And one bad example I would say that was on the Joe Rogan interview that it can destroy your credibility is a big example that Trump was giving. When Trump started coming out being known as a business guy, Trump started on the political side, right, during the presidential election. And during that time, he started getting hit with a lot of people who loved him, who started going against him. And what these people would do, sometimes they were their friends, and these people would get jobs at CNN, like Joe Rogan mentioned. And CNN would hire them, but would advise them and instruct them that if they want the job, for example, they would have to go negative on Trump, even though these people were initially positive on Trump. These people would call Trump and would say, hey, I lose the job, I have to go negative on you here. And what would Trump answer to these people? Say, go ahead, go negative. But here's the thing, even though Trump understood, even though the person communicated with the Trump that they were going to go negative on him, that loses completely the credibility. They were not going forward on their gut instincts, on their morals, on their ethics, and they would still go negative. So they're putting the job above the ethics or moral. So you should not want to do that. Stand by your gut, stand by your morals and ethics in business and everything. Do it the right way, because that's the way that you break your credibility with people and even trustworthiness. And business is all about being trustworthy. Another example in business that's helpful that also Trump covered on the Joe Rogan interview is during that time that Trump went to see Kim Jong-un. We all know the political side. I want to make sure that this video is away from politics, more towards business, and how this can help you and your business and grow, and you can apply these skills, even being from communication skills that many people admire on Trump, his way of being tough and being authentic as well. But just to put into perspective, this story is when Trump went to meet Kim Jong-un. Before then, Kim Jong-un was threatening, the U.S. to bomb them. It was always against all that political talk. And at one point, Trump called him the Little Rocket Man, which that was hilarious to start with. Then after that, when Trump said that he was going to wipe out North Korea off the map, suddenly, for the first time in history, Kim Jong-un called the White House, or his staff called the White House, and this is on an interview with Joe Rogan. Kim Jong-un called the White House and said that he wanted to meet with Trump. So Trump, at the end of the day, went there. But here's a private conversation that not many people realized that Trump shared on the Joe Rogan Experience. Is at one point, Trump got close to Kim Jong-un to talking about, hey, why don't you enjoy, and I quote here, why don't you enjoy the beach. Why you have to build all these nuclear weapons and keep building nuclear weapons? You got everything. You got, beachfront properties here. Why don't you just relax and sit on your properties and enjoy the beach, and not, in a way, not being provocative? This manner of communication brings authenticity and trustworthiness of bringing problems up front. And how can this be applied for business? For you to be authentic when you're talking, for you to look people in the eye, and that's part of the communication, and not looking away very much. And especially when you have a very important point to make that I'm going to make right now, you look people in the eye. Sometimes you even lean forward a little bit when you have that important point. So the communication, that's part of the communication skills that you ought to apply for your business, and being authentic as well. So communication, there are a lot to it, and there are a lot that we can learn from doing business as well, and things that I apply for my business. And again, guys, to see this live on how I do it, subscribe to the channel as videos are coming, me showing direct live operations for my business, my day-to-day as well. Thank you very much for watching. So these are the key points that you can practically apply for your business dealings on the phone, is the communication, on exactly how to apply the communication so you're trustworthy as well, being a loyal person, being reputable, the word is bond. All of these things benefit, and if you apply this to the T, I'm sure it's going to improve your not only your communication skills, but your business skills. You being in the market, being trustworthy, that plays a long way for you to be a successful business owner. So thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel, don't forget, so we can go over my day-to-day as a franchise business owner operator, and show you guys real life how it's done. On the next video, where I'm going to show you the operations of my business firsthand, going to an airport where we're going to be doing some work on helicopters and some vehicles there. So follow me on my trip, follow me on my trip that's coming up the following week from now. To do that, make sure to subscribe to this channel.